Hi, thanks for joining me for another Cricut tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make this fun shaker card. This is a really versatile card. You could use this for graduation, for all kinds of holidays, and it's just a fun way to make an interactive card. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is create new project. We're going to click on Insert Images. And in the search bar, you're going to search for cupcake, and you could stop right there, but I have a specific cupcake I'm using, and it's called Cupcake 1. You can pick any cupcake you want. I picked this one because it's free, it's in Design Space, it's from the Cricut alphabet, it's also a part of Access. So we're going to click on that so we get the green check. The next thing we need is the happy birthday, and there are a ton of happy birthday sentiments in Design Space. You can use any of these you like. I picked this one right here. It is from the Once Upon a Time Princess cartridge, and we're just going to click on that so we get the check, and click Insert Images. And here they are on our mat. I'm just going to select them both and move them over here out of our way for the moment. The next thing we're going to do is click Insert Shapes. Click on this square. Alright, over here in the Layers panel, you'll see the square is the top layer. We're going to click on that and change it to white. The next thing we're going to do is duplicate that layer. Okay, we're going to grab the first square, click on the Edit panel. We're going to unlock the lock, which will let us resize this disproportionately. And we're going to change the width to 4.25 and the height to 5.5. This is a standard A2 size card. We're going to click on that lock so that that doesn't accidentally shift or move, and set that aside. Going to click on the next square, go back over to the Layers panel, and let's duplicate that. Set one aside. Let's go back to this one. We'll go to the Edit panel. Again, we're going to unlock Key Proportions. We're going to change the width to 3.25, and the height is going to be 4.5. Perfect. Now let's click on that lock and keep that in proportion. Now we're going to click on the other square, click on the Edit panel, unlock Key Proportions, and we're going to change this one to 2.75 wide by 4.00 high. And this one, you'll notice, will fit right here nicely, and it's going to create a 1/2 inch border all the way around. So we just want to make sure those are lined up correctly, so we're going to draw a box over both of them so that they're both selected. You can check your Layers panel over here and make sure you have 2 layers selected. And then we're going to go to this Align up here and click this bottom option of Center. This will center both horizontally and vertically. And once those are centered, we're going to click on Slice. You can only slice 2 layers at a time. Always keep that in mind. Okay, so we've sliced 2 pieces of paper, so we have 2 middle sections. We can just drag that out, click on the red X and delete it, and drag this one out, click on the red X and delete it. Now we're going to select our frame, and we're going to go down here to Duplicate, and we're going to duplicate that 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a total of 6 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. While this first one is still selected, we're going to select it over here in the Layers panel. It's this top layer, and I'm going to change mine to gray, and that's just to remind me that I'm going to cut this top one out in silver glitter cardstock. Alright, so we're done with the frames. I'm just going to select those, move them over here out of our way. Now we're going to work on the card front. Now when I make a card, I take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. I cut it in half. You can cut it in half lengthwise, or you can cut it in half vertically. Either way, it turns out the same. You're going to cut it in half, and then you're going to fold that in half, and that becomes your card. What I do is create a card front like this right here, and then you'll glue that to the front of that card. And that way you're never messing up the entire card, and I like it because it makes extra bulk and makes it extra sturdy. So what we want to do now is we are going to take this happy birthday, and if you remember, our frame right here on the inside was 4.0 by 2.75. So with this happy birthday selected, I'm going to go over to the edit panel, and I'm going to change this height, or I'm going to change the width to, let's see, it's 2.75, let's go 2.5. All right, now I'm going to grab my frame, and I'm going to pull it over here, and I want to see how that fits inside that happy birthday. And that looks pretty good. I could actually go a little bit wider on the happy birthday. I'm going to grab that happy birthday and up that maybe to 3. See how that looks. I wanted to take just about the entire frame. And that's a little bit more than I want, so let's go down a little bit more. So I guess that would be like 2.75. That looks great. Okay, when I make this card, I want to have this frame be off center. I want it centered vertically, but I don't want it centered horizontally, because I want it to be off to the right a little bit, because we're going to do something fun right here. So I'm going to select this happy birthday, and I'm going to go up here to arrange and move to front, just so that I can check out my placement, make sure it's about where I want it. So that's about where I want it vertically. I'm going to go to arrange and center vertically. Now that is putting it exactly in the center of my card base, but it's not centering it from left to right, which is exactly what I want. So now that those are lined up the way I want them, I'm going to go over to the layers panel, and I'm going to click flatten. What this is going to do is take all of those layers, flatten them down to 1. Whenever you flatten, it's going to make it a print and cut image, and you can see that right here by this little printer icon. This is now a print and cut image. If I send this to my Cricut, it's going to print it on the printer, and then it's going to just cut out this outside edge, and this happy birthday will be printed on it. So that is my card front. Now we have this cupcake. And this would look totally cute just to leave it as is, cut it out, paper piece it. For the sake of the video, I'm going to make this simple, and we're just going to flatten this. And again, you flatten something, what's going to happen? It's going to become a printable image. So now this is just going to print this on my printer, and it's going to cut around that edge, and that's all we need. So let's kind of line our card up here. Again, we need to take this frame, hit arrange, move to front. So that's going to set like that. And this cupcake, I'm going to click arrange, move to front, and that's going to set right here, but that is too big. So we're going to use these double arrows in the bottom right corner and resize this. And this is totally up to you how big or small you want it. That is mine, and if we click on the edit panel, mine is 1.21 inches wide by 1.42 inches high. Again, no rhyme or reason, whatever looks good to you is perfectly fine. Now we're going to do something really fun. We're going to click Insert Shapes and pick the square. Alright, let's go over to the edit panel. We're going to unlock the Keep Proportions, and we're going to make this 0.5 inches wide by, remember how tall our card was? 5.5. Perfect. Now we're going to click over on the Layers panel and duplicate that. And these two pieces are going to set right here. I'm going to put one right on the edge of my card. You can move it over if you want, but I'm going to put one right here, and I'm going to put another one right here. But I want to do something fun with one of them. So select one of your rectangles, then go over to the Layers panel, select it, click Print, click Patterns. And what this is going to do is bring up all the patterns in Design Space. Now, I could spend my time going through here and trying to find the one I want, but I can narrow this down real simply by clicking on the filter. And once I click on the filter, I'm going to click on Cricut Access. I want a pattern that is in Cricut Access so that I don't have to purchase another one. And I want a pattern that is pink. Perfect. Now if we click up here where the patterns are, we see all of the pink patterns in Cricut Access, and this saves me a whole lot of time trying to find it. So I'm going to pick this one right here. You can see it just filled my shape, which is exactly what I want, but you can't really see that pattern. So in order to change that, I'm going to click Edit down here, and I can turn the scale up on this pattern. And I'm going to turn it up to about 385% and see how you can see the pattern on the strip of paper that we have right here. Okay, to get rid of that screen, we're just going to click off of it and click right back here. Now, this piece right here, I am probably going to cut out in some striped black and white paper is what I have in mind. You can cut it out in black cardstock. You could use a piece of ribbon and not cut it out at all. Whatever works for you. I think the black would be super cute too. But the way I'm seeing it is kind of like this in my mind, or maybe like that. And this is going to be black and white stripe. So let's send this to the mat and see what we have. Alright, we have our print and cut page. This is our card base, this is our pink strip, and this is our cupcake. Next we have our black strip, and again, you can cut this in black cardstock, striped cardstock, you could use ribbon, whatever you want. It's just an accent piece. You don't even have to use it if you don't want to. We have our glitter frame. I'm cutting out in the silver glitter cardstock. And then we have our shaker elements. We have 5 frames which we're going to glue together to build up our shaker element. So cut these out. On your print and cut, you're going to send it to your printer. It's going to print it out, and then you're going to put that on your mat, and then it's going to cut it out. So cut these out, meet me in my craft room, and I'll show you how to put this together. Okay, so I have a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I've cut it in half, folded it in half. This is my card base. I have the print and cut card base that we made. I have my 2 pieces. Instead of cutting it in black, I cut mine in stripes. I have my frame that I cut out in glitter. I have all of my white building blocks. I have some liquid adhesive, some foam tape, a tape runner, and I have my cupcake. The only thing that I didn't cut with the Cricut was my acetate, and you could totally cut this with the Cricut. I just found it easier. It is cut at 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our card base. And I was kind of thinking this would be fun instead of the way I had it on the video, which was like this. I think I'm going to turn it a little sideways. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my 2 decorative pieces on here. And I kind of need to decide how I want them to go. And again, you could cut this in just black. That would be perfectly fine. So I'm just going to apply this with some tape runner adhesive. Nothing fancy here. And I'm going to lay that down. And then I'm going to have the black going right to the edge, I think. And you can do this however you want. You don't have to follow this exactly. You can use it for inspiration and do it your way. But this is how I'm going to do it. So we're going to put this right along the edge, and we're done with that. So we're going to set that aside. Now what we're going to do with these frames is glue them together so that we can build up a shaker tag. So in order to do that, I'm just going to use some liquid adhesive and go easy on the adhesive, but you want to make sure you get a solid connection around the edges. And I just find it easiest to do with a liquid. You could use tape runner if you want, but I like using liquid. And all you're going to do is glue one right on top of the other, and you want to try to keep these lined up as best that you can to make it look the neatest in the finished product, which is another reason I like to use liquid, because it gives you a minute to wiggle it a little bit. And we're going to do another one. And this white cardstock that I'm using for this part was literally, you know, when you buy scrapbooks and they have those white inserts, that's all this is. I just took it out and saved some of those just for things like this. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy. And I'm going to speed the video up while I get the rest of these 5 white frames glued together. Okay, so we have all 5 frames glued together, and I'm just going along the edge, just making sure that they are totally secure. We don't want our shaker pieces falling out. If there's any glue in there, I want it to come out now. I don't want it to get on my acetate. Okay, so this looks great. Okay, so like I said, I'm thinking I want to put it this direction on the card. I think that's kind of fun. So what I'm going to do is put some glue on the back of the stack of frames. And again, you want to make sure you get it solid. All right, and put it on your card. If you want to put it straight. I'm going to go a little wonky. Glue that down, make sure it's secure. Now we're going to add our shakers, and you can put sequins in here, you can put beads in here. I'm going to do a little mixture of both. Whatever you think would look great. I'm going to add a little purple just for fun. I think I'm going to add some of these light pinks. And these are just sequins, nothing fancy here. Maybe some blue ones. And then I have this little thing of seed beads. And I think I got this at Michael's quite some time ago, but I'm going to add a few of those. Those are fun in a shaker. And maybe some blue ones. That looks fun. Now what I like to do is just put a couple of dabs of glue and stick some of these shakers up in this area so that when the recipient opens a card, not everything falls to the bottom. Some things will stay in place. This is totally up to you. But I tend to see a lot of shaker cards and everything's on the bottom, so you don't get to see how fun it is. So I'm just going to throw a few more in there. And I might dot some glue here and there and let whatever sticks, sticks. And I think I'm going to put a couple white ones. And I have some of this thick glitter. I'm going to put that in there. And I think we're looking pretty good. Again, I'm going to shake that up a little bit, let that stuff stick to the glue. A little bit of glue there, a little bit of glue there, stick something to it. Perfect. All right, now we can put those away, and we're going to again apply glue to the edge of the frame. Make sure you get it solid. And you want to take your acetate, make sure it's clean. And we're going to apply that over the top. And again, that acetate is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. I want to make sure we got a solid seal there. And then we're going to apply glue one more time around the frame. And we're going to add our frame on top, our glitter. How cute is that? All right, and now I think I'm going to just dab a little spots of glue here and there and add some sequins on the outside, just to bring it all together and to create some dimension on the outside. So we put a little glue right there, a little up there, oops, that one there, get one of these purples, put that one over here. And you could use this for graduation. Instead of happy birthday, you could put congrats. You could use this for any occasion, really. All you have to do is change what that inside says. I don't think I got enough glue there. All right, so this is what we have. We have a shaker card that says happy birthday, and see how some of those sequins are sticking up there so that not everything falls to the bottom. And all we have to do now is apply that to our card base. Make sure your card base is opening in the right direction. And trim that off just a little bit. And there you have it. A fun happy birthday shaker card. And I think I want to add another sequin down here. I think I dropped one. How cute is that? So I hope to see what you made. Be sure and tag me if you put it on Facebook or Instagram. And I hope this was useful. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I will see you soon. And if you try to make one of these cards, or if you make one of these cards, I would love to see it. Please tag me on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you post it. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.